I'm going to show you how I transplanted my lemongrass plants, starting from digging up the root ball to cutting the root ball to planting it in pots. And this is how they turned out a few weeks later. So the quick version is you dig out your root ball, cut your root ball in the sections that you want or don't. Make sure you have roots and bulb intact. Plant it in a pot. And voila! Stay tuned for more detailed information, and thanks for clicking the links below for all your gardening needs. I started by digging out my root ball. Jesus, it's huge. Oh. So I dug around, so I kind of pierced my shovel into the ground about 4 inches from where you can see the stalks of the lemongrass. This actually did take me quite a bit of time, maybe an hour total, digging around the root ball, because it was about maybe a foot by a foot in size. I just kept piercing the ground around it and pushing upwards towards the plant. So I would push the end of the shovel to kind of pop it out. It was pretty exciting when I finally got it out. So I just pushed the shovel underneath to get the last little bit and make sure it's not intact with the ground anymore. If I had it to do over again, I would have trimmed them beforehand because it left me really cut up, like little paper cuts all over my legs. This is the huge root ball. I'm gonna cut a little tiny more piece out of it and put it in this, see if it grows. And then I'm gonna put the rest of the huge root ball in this big pot and see if it grows. Hoping that they will. I really love this plant. I'm moving. I need to take it with me. To cut the root ball, I used whatever I had handy and everything I had handy. I think I used 2 or 3 different knives and my little gardening shovel along with my hands to rip it apart at the end. Alright, root ball number 2. She looks good from down here. Here's the rock. Let's see how she does when we put her in this little tiny pot. In here, this is me experimenting. See what works. I always prepare my dirt beforehand. I use conditioning compost cocoa peat, perlite, dirt from my yard, and plant food. Here we have all of the good stuff that's in my dirt. I'm going to show you how I make it. So I always start with this, which is just basically dirt from my yard. And this is honestly what it looks like. I don't know why I think that there's something about putting dirt from the land where you are in your pots so that your plants will be happier, but that's just me. Anyway, so I break this up and sift it and get all these little clumpies out first, and that's the first thing. Next, I add this soil conditioning compost. I have to read it every time because I can't remember what it's called. So I mix that in there. So this is what it looks like. It's really dark black. It's got a lot of big clumps in it. I mean, not a lot, but sometimes clumps like this, and they just break up real easy. I think this is what they call black gold, which would be worm casings or worm poop. Yeah. Then we have this stuff here, which also I have the link for. It is food, plant food, and it looks like this. And it smells like chicken poop, because it is chicken poop. But plants like chicken poop, so. And then I have here perlite. This is what it looks like. That's the bag I get. That's the one I get because it's at Shitty Mill. This is what it looks like. You can get this on Amazon. Perlite is perlite is perlite. And then here I use this stuff. So I don't use this actually the way it's supposed to be used. As you can see, I break off pieces like this, and I kind of just break them apart in my hand in the dirt pile as I mix it. And it's just not how you're supposed to use it. Supposedly you're supposed to wet it. And that's what that looks like. So it's just a little. And then when you mix all of this up, you get this, which is, for me, this is the stuff I pretty much use all the time. It's got dirt from the yard, which is free. And before I had a yard where I could get dirt, when I lived in an apartment, I actually would go out to the forest and get dirt. This is my very favorite, and I feel my most used, my most needed tool in the garden, aside from the bra. I have obviously used the out of this, and it's going strong. It served me well. So far so good, and it hasn't come apart. It was very, very inexpensive, less than 15 bucks. And I love it. It's what I use in the garden all the time, mostly. This and a shovel. It's what I use to break up this dirt. I use this part the best. The most. The best. I use this part the most. This part I obviously use. You can see that I have pummeled it because there's a lot of rocks in our yard, as you can see here. So yeah, I just break it. I do it really hard. So root balls out of the ground, cut. My dirt is prepared. I am ready to transplant them into the pots. Here's one little section of a root ball that I cut off of the big root ball. There's definitely part of the ball here, and you can see all the roots, which are intact somewhat, and hopefully inside there they're nice and packed, because it is like big clump. So it's definitely a root ball. I don't know why I really like saying root ball. Root ball, root ball, root ball. Once the root balls are ready, I just put them in pots and spread the dirt around them.
And that looks like she will sit about perfect. Oh, nice big fat piece of grass. About right where I want it to. It looks like her roots are all that way. So,
Good thing I didn't make a mess. And there she is. We'll see. Now it's time to water her. And all of the root balls that I planted worked out perfectly. They're all alive, thriving, and fabulous.
so just a quick FYI. If you're gonna bend over and pick these two buckets like this, that's the reason you wear a bra. Because I just tried it without a bra. Wearing my lovely handy dandy t-shirt. And it sucked. It really sucked. Wow, my t-shirt is very comfortable. No bra. Smushing of the nipples is not very comfortable, so I recommend to click the link below to these sweet sports bras, lacy doodads for gardening. Yeah, it's you would never guess that sports bra is something that you need. Not even a sports bra, any bra, just a bra. You need a bra for gardening. So yeah.